r/AskReddit. What is sex like when you are old, 80 plus? I'll attempt it at age 112. If you do it doggy style, each jab will have your balls smack her in the face. From what I can gather from this thread, 80-year-olds get more sex than the vast majority of petulant redditors. I work with the elderly and know of a few who use prostitutes. It's a pain in the ass for their assisted living managers as you have randoms coming in and out. Danger there also is the sex workers would then give AOB stories to get money out of one old man I know, and he would give away his pension and then have nothing for food or bills. One old fella I worked with had posters of topless women all over his bedroom wall, literally plaster like wallpaper all over, and would ring sex lines and run up huge bills. While repairing my grandpa's laptop I saw that porn is still a thing in this age, 75 yo. From what I hear, at least around where I live, stees are weirdly common on people over 70 because they decide to be super active at that age and don't wear protection. It ceased to exist in my 40s, so I'm guessing more of the same. Just go to the old people home, grab the boombox and hit the turbo bass. Although what happens next will be a total disgrace. You think 80-year-olds are cruising Reddit in the middle of the night? I don't see a lot at the home where I work, but there are a few more promiscuous ladies. Mostly old dudes asking the CNAs for favors, or looking down their shirts, or touching them inappropriately. I'm a male in my 30s. I get propositions semi-jokingly probably 4-5 times a year. Welp. According to my mom who used to work at a nursing home they are very active. Apparently they also had a residential rapist there too, that the staff had to watch like a hawk because he kept attacking all the bedridden women. They couldn't really do anything legally though to remove him from the facility because he wasn't considered mentally competent anymore. So yeah, that was a thing. My mom used to work as a nurse in a nursing home, and she would tell me the old people were like rabbits. She would walk in on them all the time, and the functioning guys would get more women than they ever had when they were young. Because men die earlier, and then a lot of men get it, so if you are an older guy with a functioning penis the ladies were all over you. You were in high demand. A really smooth bowel movement. It depends. Like climbing pizza dough. I was hoping to find answers like I forgot. Like 2 sacks of potatoes smashing together. My 90-year-old nan used to tell me you just have to use a lot more lube. Gets dry down there, lol. Old people get more sex than young people because young people still think they have time to wait, and old people think they waited too long. All I wonder is if older women still naturally get wet down there, or do they have to use lube? YTF you wondering? An older guy, I think he was at least 75 when this occurred, I used to work with once said his wife was very traditional, so it was only missionary for the most part. He said she had amazing tits though, and he always wanted to them. He bought a Tempur-Pedic fully adjustable bed for Christmas as a present for both of them. Next time she was in the mood he tilted her upper body just right and finally got to her tits while they were going at it in missionary. Kinky. I mean, I'm in my teens, a boob-shaped shadow would make me crazy. In 20s I had to spend some time on Pornhub for that particular video. Now, in my early 30s, I have to dig darknet for hours just to get hard. I'm scared to think what would make me horny in my 80s. I hope it's still bomb. I'm still trying to deep throat and ride at 80. I imagine it's really dry and powdery. Feels soft and silky but bone dry. I'm gonna be really honest. I don't wanna know. Here's an upvote anyway. Imagine your whole body is made out of saggy cheeks and they're all clapping unenthusiastically. It is a dry period now. For some 20 years it has been the same. I'm 20, so do the math. Who TF is 80 plus and uses Reddit? Reminds me of a joke I heard years ago. Man and woman decide to stay in the same hotel room they stayed at during their honeymoon for their 60th anniversary. Man goes into the bathroom to do his nightly bedtime routine. Comes out to find his wife naked, standing in her head. legs wide apart. Shocked to see this. He says, "Gertrude, why are you like this?" Gertrude answers, "I figured since you can't get it up anymore, the least you could is drop it in." Apostrophe. Just a joke. A guy is horny AF and there is an old woman who invites him to sex. He goes for it, and after they are done, he says, "You are old, but very wet down there." The woman replies, "Well, young man, where there is crust, there is also pus." I don't know. I'm not 80 plus. Neither have I had sex. Really good. Because of the Alzheimer I keep forgetting that I already had 6 and do it again. It would take longer because you need to take the dentures out first. There's a place in Florida called The Villages where many old people go to retire. It's known to be a huge swinger community with a loofah-based communication system where the color of the loofah, usually displayed on a car or something like that, indicates the kind of stuff you're into. It's also known to have its own strain of gonorrhea. Slow. Dusty. You ever blow the dust of the top of a refrigerator? Thought this was r/jokes. Couldn't see a punchline. Realized which sub I'm in. Nope, the hell out of here. I imagine it's like slamming a dusty old book closed. An extreme sport. Dry. What sex? Amazing. Ask me again in 40 some years. It's a question of penetration. I heard that the lady stands on her head, legs open, and the man lowers himself in. Still awesome. People have sex at that age. I mean, doesn't their back hurt or something? Not trying to be mean. What positions would they use? I mean, it's weird thinking that my great grandmother could have sex at 94. I wasn't working at the time, but I had an old couple at my workplace, and when they were still able, they used to do it on the floor. More stability. Did it extremely often and usually left a huge mess for staff to clean, usually of pretty much every bodily fluid. The female also used to ask staff if they could FK her or help her FK her husband, and yes, she actually said the word and made everyone quite uncomfortable. Guessing even more thrilling. Good time or a heart attack? Crunchy, I hope. A memory. Same. Except in slow motion. It's the same, but slower and wrinklier. My grandfather had a hat that said sex after 60 is like shooting pool with a rope, so hopefully not like that. Do 80 plus year olds even use Reddit, Lomeo? Well, let's put it this way. You can't get anyone pregnant, and there's a good chance you're single, because wife/husband is dead, and you're likely not really looking for anything serious. So yeah, retirement villages and nursing homes can be a hotbed for STDs. Not even joking. The one in our town got posters printed along the lines of "You're never too old for herpes," and my mother, local pharmacist, had to deliver the box of packs of condoms they ordered after it was found multiple residents had newly acquired STDs. Like emptying a vacuum cleaner bag. I imagine it would be like slapping two carrier bags full of mayonnaise together. This is the most goddamn inspirational thread I've read in a long time. You're asking a young crowd here. No one knows. Oh. Pretty old. Ever rubbed two deflated balloons together? According to Kyle, they indeed enjoy hard, rigorous sex. Can I delete someone else's question? Interesting though this is. Just scrolling through a couple comments makes me feel vile and disgusted. And I just ate. I come back to this in 61 years. If I had to have a guess, I'd say dry. Oyster in a coin slot, George Burns. Less frequent, I assume. Moist. Sex at age 90 is like trying to shoot pool with a rope, George Burns. A little odd, but none of us is getting any younger. Honestly, I highly recommend checking out some erotica featuring people older than yourself, whatever age you are, to help you visualize sex in your future. There is a whole genre of porn featuring people way up there in age. Yes, the bods are no longer perfect, but the passion can still be there. It's actually very life-affirming emo. Probably pretty gross. I've heard it was like using a rope as a billiards cue. You know why old people don't have sex? Have you ever tried to pull a grilled cheese apart? I go in, do my job and get out. Lol JK. I die from an heart attack. It's dead.